Hi there, it's Tom with Digital Foundry, and joining me today is Rich.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, pretty good, thanks. Now, we've kind of overlooked Shadow of Mordor, haven't we, up until this point, but we thought we'd give it a look on PS4 Pro just to see what the improvements were. And it turns out, contrary to what we thought originally, this has actually got a few things going for it.
Yeah, so I originally saw this title when I met Mark Cerny, funnily enough. He used it as an example of super sampling down a 4K frame buffer to 1080p, and we saw a side-by-side comparison there, and essentially, well, it looked pretty good. A lot of sort of aliasing artifacts removed, generally good presentation, but it turns out there's more to this one than meets the eye.
Yeah, that's right. Mark Cerny mentioned that the resolution scales up and down from about 80%.
I think his phrase was it scales between 80 to 90% of full 4K resolution, but you've been doing some pixel counting and it seems to actually be better than that. Is that correct?
It is. Surprisingly, we get a native 4K from the game pretty much everywhere you'll care to go. Like outside, you'd expect it to dip down, be the real pressure point. But actually, you're getting a full 3840 by 2160 outdoors for the most part. So not just limited to indoors. That being said, I did spot the 80% drop, which comes in at account of 3072 by 1728 native resolution. I noticed that while looking at kind of the top watchtower, looking over the kind of horizon. To be honest, you're not going to notice it. It's happened so seamlessly.
Yeah, possibly the long draw distance, maybe the alpha effects there causing the GPU scaler to kick in. As you said though, you don't really notice much in the way of difference during the run of play. It looks exceptionally clean.
Yeah, it is one of the titles we can actually use to celebrate the PS4 Pro with. It's been a mixed bag, as we all know. We've covered a fair few titles by this point, with mixed fortunes on each game, but this one goes in the sort of the good pile. Unlike Warner Brothers' work with the Batman Return to Arkham remaster package, where it's a bit disappointing right now.
No effort went into it, basically. I think that's the bottom line. But with this, I mean, essentially we are getting 4 times the resolution of the base PlayStation 4 version with no perceptible performance penalty, which I think is a remarkable achievement. And it's not even checkerboarding or anything like that. It seems to be using standard native rendering.
When you look at it, there's no actual visual downgrades. It's actually pretty much as the base PS4 version came across, but now rendered at a higher resolution, which is fantastic.
Yep, there's 2 things here. I mean, first of all, the fact that they've been able to achieve this, I think, is remarkable, and I think you're right, it goes onto our pile of great PlayStation 4 Pro titles, and we're actually getting a list of that together at the moment, sort of recommended Pro titles. If you're a new owner of the console, I think this one has got to be added.
One thing you can say about it, perhaps a little bit against it, is the fact it's a cross-gen game, meaning all these assets, the textures.
It's not optimized for the current generation, I think what you say, not built for the ground up.
Yeah, they were factoring in 360 and PS3 to some extent, even though the PS3 version, as we know, was woeful, absolutely
possibly
dreadful.
The worst cross-gen title that we ever saw.
Yeah, I think so.
But this looks great, and we're actually seeing that there is a quality mode for 1080p users as well.
That's right, so I'll throw the menu shot in here. You get a choice between the game prioritizing quality or resolution. We've just shown the resolution side, but the quality side is kind of interesting in that I had a good look at it side by side, panning shots and all this. There's not a heck of a lot in it. To be honest, I would play in the 4K mode. It scales up much better to a 4K television, and generally if you're on a 1080p display, you get the super sampling down, which is a big benefit. It's all explained in the menus, and I'm glad it's so clearly expressed, which isn't a luxury we have with all these games.
And that all Pro users, regardless of display, get access to all Pro enhancements. I think that's the key thing here.
That's correct, yeah.
So quality versus resolution here, we've got a shot that is showing what the difference is, and it doesn't look that massive.
No, this is the thing, I had to slow it right down, so sorry if you're looking at a very judgery screen. This is 25% speed. Essentially, you're looking at pop-in differences. In the resolution mode, 4K resolution, you'll get a lot more pop-in with this mode compared to the quality mode, where the draw distance is much further afield and it'll render in things much further away, and there'll just be less sort of obvious transitions.
Can you swap between the two modes during gameplay or only at the beginning?
Only at the beginning, yeah.
Right, okay.
So you kind of rig it up and then you press new game or continue the game.
Yeah, I think we have to bear in mind, I mean, obviously Rise of the Tomb Raider continues to be the best example of this, where you can swap between all three of its different modes during gameplay, but behind the scenes in a lot of titles there'll be a lot of different buffers being set up, that kind of thing, which means that actually adjusting on the fly like Rise of the Tomb Raider does is not a trivial task. So titles like Knack do the same thing, and here we have Shadow of Mordor.
So overall I put this in the same category as Knack, let's say. I mean, the performance is 30 FPS all the way through, so you don't get a performance differential as you do with Knack, but there's two modes to choose from. It favours, you whether you're on a 1080p screen or if you're on a full 4K screen. You've got options here.
Yeah, but downsampling for 1080p users seems to be the best bet, I think, there.
Yeah, I would say.
Resolution for 4K users.
Right, let's wrap it up there. If you enjoyed this analysis, please do like and subscribe below. Also, we do of course have that Patreon channel where you can see all our videos at high quality as we see them before uploading to YouTube. That's digitalfoundry.net. But until next time, thanks for watching.